بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. My dear respected brothers, elders, mothers and sisters listening at home, I wanted to imagine a person by the name of Abdul Rahman, a person by the name of Zayd, a daughter by the name of Zainab, a daughter by the name of Hafsa. All of them, mashallah, are performing most of their salah. They are giving in charity. They may have performed their hajj, they may have performed their umrah. However, one of them has some sort of a doubt in the compilation of the Quran. One of them has a doubt about the beliefs of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. One of them has a doubt about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If all of these four continue to live their life in this manner, then after death there is nothing, no goodness for them. It is important for these four individuals to rectify their belief, to rectify the internal. And we are living in an era where we hear and we may have heard that a person who was punctual in the salah, a person who was externally pious, but something happened, he or she had that opportunity where he or she was able to express what was internal, and we found out that he or she does not have any faith inside. So we're living in that sort of zamana. This is why it is important for us, even more important for us, to attach ourselves to the Quran, to attach ourselves to the deen, in order to protect our belief, in order to protect our progeny. In the last few days, alhamdulillah, we have been going through few verses of the Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah Al-Baqarah, where we have discussed how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described Himself. We have able to understand the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the verses in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 25, is one of the famous ayat. We, alhamdulillah, and inshallah, everybody, even every child, will be able to pray and memorize and practice and have the habit of reading this ayat every morning and evening. Is one of the, which is known as the leader of all of the ayat. In this long verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about Himself in such a unique way, where He has not described Himself in other places. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before this, He has spoken about Banu Israel, about their disbelief. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to say that, who are you disobeying? Why are you not following? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that Allah, la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, that this Allah is such that it cannot be broken into. There is no plural of the word Allah. There is no, we cannot make it into any gender. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not feminine, is not masculine. You can't associate any partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And La ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. This Allah is said that there is none worthy of worship besides Him. He is the one who has to be worshipped. Now, if you are going to worship something, that's something that the being has to exist. He has to be living. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that Al-Hayy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Hayy, meaning He is the one who is alive. He is the one who exists. The word Al-Hayy is the opposite of death. Is the opposite of death. Al-Hayy means He's ever living, He's eternal. He's always been there, He always will be there, and He's the one who gives life. So He's a giver of life as well. And this Al-Hayy cannot be given to any other being at all, because why? Every other being, every other creation is going to taste death. It's only Al-Hayy, Allah, who is not going to die. He is ever living, He will always be there, He was always there, and He always will be there. And then Al-Qayyum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is sustaining the universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who's given us life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has created us. So Al-Qayyum is trying to say that He is the one who has given life, and He is the one who's sustaining every single particle, every single thing, every single small ant to the biggest creation in the world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking care of them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sustaining them. Now, if a person has a difficult task, if you were to given a task, after some time, a person will, he will feel tired. A person will not be able to continue the task. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, لا تأخذوا سنة ولا نوم. To maintain everything, to maintain the entire creation. لا تأخذوا سنة. Sina is referring to that, when you just doze off for a short while. That is referring to that. And wala naum is referring to complete sleep. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though He's looking after all of these creation, He's looking after entire universe. But la ta'khudhu sina, He does not even doze off in taking care of them. He does not even fall asleep in taking care of them. So whatever we see, whatever is being created, lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard, everything belongs to Him. Everything in the heavens, everything in the earth, all belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The angels, the humans, the animals, the trees, the things that we see, the things that we do not see, the wind that we believe that even that also is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The illnesses is also a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He is the one that everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man dhal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'idhni. Now in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to say that who is there who can intercede in front of Him? Who is the one who can intercede in front of Him without His permission? Meaning, with only His permission we will be able to intercede, and we will be able to take a person away from one place to another. On the Day of Judgment, in this world, some people do not regard a Hafiz as anything. They look down the person that is only Hafiz. So what? I've got a child who's got this sort of degree and he's got this sort of income. But the person who is Hafiz, we do not take care of him. We do not regard him as anything. But on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give permission to that Hafiz, who will be able to intercede and will be able to take some number out of people from the fire of Jahannam and to take them into Jannah. So this will only happen with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give permission to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who will also intercede. Now intercession generally happens when we are not aware of something. For example, a student has become in trouble, he has been taken to the headmaster. Now another teacher will come and intercede for that child about something that the headmaster is unaware of. The headmaster will not know that the good qualities the child has, or the good work the child has done. So this second teacher will come and intercede for the child to take him away from that trouble. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is such, يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has complete knowledge of everything that was there before him, after him. So when this intercession will take place, it's not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not aware of what's happening. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is completely aware of the situation of that being that the intercession is taken for. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows, He has the knowledge of what has happened before His birth, after His birth. He knows what's happening before this time and after this time. Everything is in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا يَعْزُبُ عَنْ رَبِّكَ مِن مِثْقَالِ ذَرَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ وَلَا أَصْغَرَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ وَلَا أَكْبَرَ. Not even an atom weight is hidden from your Lord. Not even an atom's weight is hidden from the Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth, in the heavens, not even something smaller, not even larger than that. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. In here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that we may have a bit of knowledge, but we cannot encompass and gather the entire knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge is infinite. We cannot even compare, we cannot even come close to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Ma'alimul Irfan, the author has mentioned about the discussion that took place between Hazrat Khidr alayhi and also Hazrat Musa alayhi. Once they were sat there and they saw like a little bird, like a sparrow. He put his beak into the water, into the ocean. The Khidr radiallahu anhu, he said that look at the water that's at the end of this beak. Our knowledge, my knowledge together, and the knowledge of the entire creation, this is the knowledge that we have compared to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually not even that much as well. We don't even have that much amount of knowledge compared to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Now we are one of those who think that we have so much knowledge. We are there to discuss about the being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here in this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. One of His creation is known as kursi. Now what is this kursi? We do not need to go into what this kursi is like. What is why is it needed? What does it look like? Why? Because our knowledge is very, very, very limited compared to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do not need to know the method and the design of this kursi. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's kursi and this chair in our words is such that it can gather wasi'a kursiyyu samawati wal ard. It extends to the heavens and the earth. It extends to the heavens and the earth. Now in the hadith of Abu Dhar al-Ghifari radiyallahu anhu, when he asked Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that what did this kursi look like, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that if you were to put the 7 heavens and the 7 earth compared to the kursi, it's like a small finger in lying in a huge plain, in a huge desert. So these 7 heavens and the earth compared to the kursi is like a small finger ring in the desert. So this is how great this kursi is, and greater than that is the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, if you were to go on YouTube, there's a video where it shows, a person on earth, then it starts zooming out. It starts zooming out and zooming out to the entire, the galaxies that are there. And this being on this earth, we can't even see on that image anymore. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is amazing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond our imagination. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He says in here, that there is nothing compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot comprehend this kursi, and we cannot comprehend the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا يَؤُدُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. Now, taking care of the entire creation, taking care of the heaven and the earth, for us, it becomes a difficult task. We'll get tired. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says here that وَلَا يَؤُدُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. He does not get tired looking after them and taking care of them. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ. The people who, when the original text of Torah was lost, and the scholars of Torah start writing the Torah out again, they came to the verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that it took Him 6 days to create the heavens and the earth. Now what does that mean? That's another discussion. But then they thought that on the 7th day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must have got tired. So that's what they wrote in the Torah of themselves. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ. In the creation of the heaven and the earth and everything that we see in the 6 days, it did not tire Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No fatigue took and touched Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end He says on this earth, on this last part of the verse, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all high, He is all supreme. Meaning the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the mighty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is such that He is great and He is beyond our imagination. So this is the verse of the known as Ayatul Kursi. Now we have to, if we were to believe in this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will be able to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our deen. We will be able to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our deen. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not force anybody to accept this deen in order to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is entirely up to the creation, entirely up to the humanity, up to the humans what they want to do. However, if they were to accept the deen and they were to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what will happen is Allah waliyul ladina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become the helper and will take them out from the darkness to the light. And if they disobey and they reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will become the friends of the shaitan. أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And what will the shaitan do? Shaitan will take them towards Jahannam, where they will be ever, forever and ever. The last point that we need to learn from this is that the word Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum is the spirit and the focus of this entire verse. Because of Al-Hayy and because of Al-Qayyum, the rest of the verses and the rest of the part of the verse exist. And also in Ma'arif al-Quran, Madam Maulana Idris Kandari rahmatullahi alayhi, he says that if you were to go deep into Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum, the entire surah is existing because of Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum. There are around 40 ruku' in this surah, and in every ruku' of this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has either indicated or spoken about Al-Hayy or Al-Qayyum. This was the verse of Ayatul Kursi. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the correct understanding. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our iman, to protect the iman of our progeny. Allahumma ameen. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati ma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.